Alright guys, so in this video I want to talk to you about Amazon reviews, and I'll share with you my experiences so far and also expose some of the myths that are out there surrounding reviews. Now, when I first started my FBA journey and I was at the product research stage, the number of products that I excluded under the belief that they had triple figure reviews, that they were too competitive, that I couldn't possibly enter that market. Now, all the courses and the channels all say that too many people with 100 plus reviews, it's way too competitive, don't get involved. That has not been my experience. I want to share that with you guys and also show you some of the other bits that I've learned around reviews and some of the emails I use and the product insert I use as well. So let me just cover some of the bits I'm going to go through in this video first. Firstly, the truth about review scores, because the review score you see on Amazon is not the actual review score that you genuinely earn. You can launch without product reviews, contrary to popular belief. You need to learn to accept review manipulation because it happens. Amazon don't really care that much, and if you obsess about it, you go mad worrying about what the competition are up to. We're also going to look at how you can get reviews in a good, honest way, and maybe slightly manipulated way as well. I'm going to look at my product insert template, or at least a blanked out version of my insert. Also going to show you my seller feedback email template. I'm going to talk about how to get reviews removed, because sometimes that is possible, or if you can't get them removed, at least get them improved. And then finally, my negative review template, what I send to people who leave negative reviews. So firstly, the truth about review scores. Now, the review score that you see on Amazon is not the review score average that you've actually earned. Now, I was pretty wound up when I first discovered this point. I don't know how I didn't know it already, but either way, I didn't. Let's read Amazon's extract on it. Amazon calculates a product star rating using a machine-learned model instead of a raw data average. The machine-learned model takes into account factors including the age of the review, helpfulness votes by the customers, and whether the reviews are from verified purchases. So what Amazon is effectively saying there is that our robots know better which reviews we're going to give more weight into. So regardless of what your overall average is, if our robots thinks these reviews are more valuable than these reviews, that's the average we're going to give you. Now, I'm going to show you an example of this. I was going to show you my product, but I thought it would probably give it away if I gave away exact figures. So I'm just going to show you another product on Amazon, which is, let me close this down because we're coming back to that in a moment. And that is, let's head all the way back. We're looking at a yoga mat. Now, this yoga mat has 49 reviews with an average of 4 stars. And if you 4 stars is okay. I'd rather be at 4.5 stars or 5 star. My experience showing when my product dropped down to 4 star for a couple of days, sales took a small drop. So you really want to be at 4.5 or 5 stars on your star rating. Let's go through how their stats work for that individual product. So in total, they've got 49 reviews, and I went through earlier and I counted up individually what they've got. So you can see there 3 1 stars, 5 2 stars, 7 3 stars, 3 4 stars, and 31 5 stars. So in total, they've earned 155 stars over their 49 reviews. So no, they haven't. They've earned 201 stars. So it was 31 times 5 stars, 150 stars. They've earned 201 stars for their 49 reviews. So if we do 201 divided by 49, their average is 4.1 stars. So what does Amazon think their average is? 3.8 stars. And if you go to the website and if you hover over the stars, you can see there, we think 3.8 out of 5 stars. So Amazon will do and rank what they think, or give you the score they think is the correct score for your product, regardless of what the actual score is. Now, for my product, I've got genuine reviews, and Amazon still gave more weighting to the negative review that come in. So I'd had lots of 4 and 5 star reviews, all genuine, and then someone came in for 1 star, and that pulled down my average by a lot more than the actual raw data should have. So I dropped from like a 4.8 average to 4.1 because of one star review. So just keep that in mind, that a negative review can be a lot more damaging than just the raw data would suggest if the Amazon algorithm decides to give it a lot more weighting than your other reviews. Also, the final thing is Amazon like to round down reviews as well. So if your score is 4.7, they'll show 4.5 stars. If your score is 4.8, then they'll show 5 stars. So you have to be closer. So 4.75 would still be rounded down. So if you take this guy as an example, okay, he's at 3.8 at the moment, so he's getting rounded up to 4 stars. But if Amazon had decided their Amazon score was 3.7, you could easily have seen his 4.1 displaying on the website as 3.5 stars, because Amazon believe that is what his actual review score should be, and that's crazy. But that's the system we've got. We all take part in the Amazon world. We know it's not perfect, so we just have to accept that, be willing to work around it, and sometimes do what you need to do to work with a system that isn't perfect. So the next thing, you can launch without reviews. Now this is something that you won't see many people saying, and I've actually challenged a couple of YouTubers who said that you have to get reviews first, and one guy even blocked me from his channel. I won't say who it was, but he blocked me from his channel because he was spouting that you can't possibly launch a product without reviews. So I challenged him in the comments politely, and yeah, blocked it, deleted my comments, and so yeah, I don't take that guy seriously anymore. So you can launch without reviews. I have done it. Now, yes, if you've got a review or two when you launch, it's going to make things easier. I'm not denying that, but I'm saying it is possible to launch without reviews. My experience was I sold 20 of my first product before I got my first review, and then once that review come in, conversions did pick up a bit. So it does help. The key thing is though, you've got to give your customers a reason to choose your product other than reviews. If you've got a very similar product to someone else and you're sat there on 4 stars or no stars because you haven't got reviews yet, and they're sat there on 4.5, 5-star reviews, they're probably going to go based on reviews. However, if someone sat there on 5 stars, you've got 0 stars, but you're offering extra features, you've got better product photography, you just look overall more it's a much better listing, and your product is better, then people might go, do you know what, I'm going to take the risk on that one. Or if you both got the same reviews, well, that one's better anyway, and the reviews are good, so why not? We'll go for that one anyway. So make sure you give your customers more than just review count as a reason to buy your product. Obviously, I've just mentioned positive reviews do help with sales because they help improve conversion rate. And it's easier than I expected to outrank highly reviewed competitors. Now, as I went back, at the very start of the video, I said about the amount of products I excluded based on high review counts. For one of my keywords at the moment, I'm ranked first. So I'm position 1, and I'm still in 2-digit reviews. If we'd say I'm less than 50 reviews at the moment, I'm not going to say too closely. I'm less than 50 reviews. Yet I am currently ranked above at least 6 other sellers that have got triple-figure reviews. Now some have got 100 or 200, some have got 600, 700. So that gives you an idea. You can rank above people with high reviews, and that you shouldn't use it as a reason not to enter a market. Now, if you run Jungle Scout and you see the whole front page is sitting there with 4-figure reviews, then yeah, you might think again, because obviously they've been there a long time to have acquired that amount of reviews, so they're going to have a hell of a lot of sales history to go with that. But I would say most searches I do on Amazon UK, I wouldn't be afraid to enter most of the markets. The main reason I don't enter most of the markets is the overall demand isn't deep enough. As I've touched on in a previous video, demand it drops off very quick on the UK market. So that's normally my reason. That's normally my barrier for entry, more so than the actual number of reviews. I'm just going to show you a product to demonstrate this point. So this is chopping boards, or chopping board singular. Sorry, I've searched here singular, and you can see with chopping board. Look at the review count. You've got people in 3 figures. You've got 8 or 9 people with 3-figure reviews on the front page, but then you've also got people with 2-figure reviews that are there. Now, that is for me indicative of my experience with Amazon UK, is that you can get ranked on the front page near the top with single or double figure reviews, even if there are triple figure or quadruple figure review products on there already. So chopping board actually is an interesting market because you can see their demand's quite, I would say this is good demand for the UK market. It is dominated by big brands. So if I was going to go into this market, I'd do some research to see how many unbranded or non-big brand products were actually still selling on chopping boards. But there's certainly good demand there, and if I saw that on a product, for example this one, I would spend time to do further research, because if you can find a unique selling point or some additional features, then you could do well with this type of demand going on in the market. So coming back. Right, products with a low number of reviews though are at a high risk. Now the reason I want to say this is that obviously I bang on about launching without reviews, trying to do things the right way and not cheating the system or manipulating the system. But at the same time, I think you need to be prepared to do that. Now the reason I say that is I was quite lucky that when my first negative review came in, I had over 20 positive, over 20 4- and 5-star reviews, so I had a good buffer. And it worked out really well for me. That was when my first one came in. Now, if that negative review had come in the first couple of weeks before I'd built up enough reviews to kind of negate it, then I think my product would have really suffered because it had been dragged down to a 1 or 2-star average, and I think it would have done a lot of damage. So what I would recommend is having an emergency plan, so that if that ever happened to your product during the launch stage, you've got a group of people, a group of contacts who are disassociated with you that you can go to and say, look, my product's in trouble, need you to buy it. going to need you to post a review. And I know I go on and on about not manipulating the system, but at the same time, if it's a case of your product's going to fail, or you can ask for a bit of help in a safe or as safe as possible way from trusted people, then I think it's only natural you're going to take that route. So have an emergency plan when you're in the early stages of your product in case you get negative reviews come in. So learning to accept review manipulation, and this follows on from my previous point really. Competitors sometimes will post negative reviews. Sometimes people will post reviews that you think are absolutely rubbish or not valid, and you'll see your competitors getting positive reviews that are obviously fake. And I used to get really worried. It used to really annoy me, and then I realised actually there's very little I can do. Amazon is so big, they haven't got time to pursue all of this. Unless someone is doing it on a major scale, or it can be detected through their algorithms, then they're going to get away with it usually. So learn to accept that review manipulation happens, and that sometimes you might even have to take part in it yourself, as much as I don't like to say that. So there's many sellers manipulating reviews, both their own and yours, so they're getting positive ones for them, and they're even getting clever now and getting people to post negative reviews. And I'm not talking to someone coming on saying rubbish product. I've seen people doing it where they're posting like detailed negative reviews. So it's like they've gone to a review group and said they want the same sort of stuff, but do it as a negative for someone else's product. So I've seen that going on. Mass scale review manipulation is being ignored by Amazon according to the forums. Now if you go into the official forums, there's been at least 2 big threads which have been shut down. There's now a 3rd thread going where they're talking about this. So if you've got time, go onto the Amazon forums, have a read about review manipulation, especially from some of the big boys. People believe Amazon, they've got insiders in Amazon helping it. There's some crazy conspiracy theories, but at the same time, the evidence suggests there is some genuine issues with the review system and how it's being manipulated, especially by some of the Chinese sellers. Every course tells you, or every YouTube channel will tell you, except mine, to get to get reviews before you launch your product. Now, people say, "Oh, build a social following," or something like that, or build an email marketing list. Yeah, that sounds easy. It's not as easy as that. So what most of them are saying is, get reviews, ask your friends, ask your family. So everyone is saying manipulate your reviews, but just do it in a logical way. Don't go and sell 10 products and get 10 reviews from family members. That's not the way to do it. Launch a product, get some natural sales or organic sales as natural as can be using PPC for Amazon ads and Facebook, and then intermingled with those, maybe get a few people. You don't need 10, even 2 or 3, even 1. As soon as I got 1 review, that made a huge difference. So just have that as an option. Once you get 10, 20 sales through, maybe you've got 1 contact, someone who you've got no association with, who can come in and just drop you a positive review and really kind of kickstart your sales. And just accept that manipulation might be necessary for everyone, and probably almost everyone on Amazon is doing it as well. So to give you an example, a competitor that launched 1 week after me has triple the number of reviews than I currently do from less sales. Obviously I've been monitoring them. So he's had the same or less sales as me over the same period. He's got triple the number of reviews, which I thought maybe he's got a really good insert, or maybe he's got a fantastic follow-up sequence. But what I realised is I watched it, I've been following, this is what I mean about learning to accept it happens and trying to forget about people, because I did this way too much. I watched his reviews for almost daily. I was seeing what was going on, and every time the seller got a negative review, the same day there'd be 4 or 5 5-star reviews to basically cancel it out and get his average back up, and then there'd be no reviews for a few days until the next negative one come in. So that for me shows that the review manipulation is still happening. Amazon's algorithm isn't picking it up, because to get near enough 100 reviews in 6 to 8 weeks, this guy, with some that are blatantly fake because they've come in 4 or 5 in the space of a couple of hours, and Amazon hasn't detected it, shows it still goes on, and it's still possible to get away with it. So the other thing is, one of the negative reviews I had, I believe, could have been a competitor, because when I looked on their profile, they'd left 50 other negative reviews in 1 day. I mean, who goes onto Amazon and thinks, I'm going to spend all afternoon just leaving negative reviews? But what can you do? I could try contacting Amazon, but really, from what I've said in the forums, there's little point. And like I was just saying earlier, try to forget about the competition, but do have a plan in case they attack you. So if someone starts dropping negative reviews, know how you're going to respond. By one is who you need to contact on Amazon. Secondly, what information you need to provide to Amazon, and thirdly, get your positive reviews in. Do your own manipulation, and I hate saying that, do your own manipulation, because the time it will take Amazon to respond, you'd have lost out so much. So you need to react quickly yourself. So how to get product reviews. Some of you guys might have been waiting for this, so sorry if you've had to sit through those first 5-10 minutes of me garbling on about other stuff. How to get product reviews. Now the first one is obvious: sell a great product and get verified sales with PPC. Now this is the Mother Teresa way of doing it, where you're not doing anything wrong. You've got a great product, you're selling it in PPC, and people are leaving genuine reviews. And thankfully that's how it worked for my first product. So that was great. I don't expect it to always work, and I know at some point I'm going to have to kind of probably get involved in the game. The product insert, and this for me is the most important one, because this is the only way that you guarantee to reach your buyer. Email follow-up sequences, the bounce back rate is extraordinary. So product insert, so as long as your supplier puts it in the bag or in the box, you're guaranteed your product insert is going to get to your customer. Now, you can't guarantee they're going to put it in the bin, so do what you can with the product inserts to make sure that it's interesting and they will actually read it. So the product insert for me is the number one opportunity for you to get reviews. Email follow-up sequence, I see loads of channels saying this is the way to get reviews. A lot of them selling affiliate links to FeedbackWiz and similar. Now I used FeedbackWiz, and the actual system is very, very good. If I wanted an email follow-up sequence, FeedbackWiz was very good for what it did. The reason I stopped using it was I ran it for 4 weeks, and all it encouraged was 4-star reviews, because every review that came in was basically being pestered. I believe I had a very good follow-up sequence, but what's happened is they were leaving reviews because I asked them to. And because I asked them to leave reviews, they then would say what they didn't like as well. Now, what I relied on before that was just people reading my insert, and then there's a lot more effort from reading an insert and then having to go onto the PC, boot it up, log in and stuff like that to leave a review than there is if you're sitting at your PC or your phone and you get an email saying leave me a review, click a link. So my belief is you need to feel very strongly to leave a 5-star review or a 1-star review. So that's why I'd rather leave it to the product insert, because most people have left me 5-star reviews based on that not being chased by emails. Most of the ones that come through FeedbackWiz were nitpicking 4 stars, and I think that's where the 2 and the 3 star as well came when I was doing the email follow-up sequence. As soon as I've stopped that, all I've had about 15 5 stars and just that 1 star. So people feel very strongly either way, strongly enough to stop what they're doing, go to their device and enter a review. So yeah, I don't use follow-up email sequences purely because I think they encourage nitpicking and make it too easy for people who aren't overly happy to leave a negative review. Now, someone might be sitting there having an average day, they get an email saying, oh, please review our products, and you think, you know what, that product was alright, a 3-star or 2-star or 1-star. Whereas they probably didn't care enough to come and leave that unless you chase them. So that's my belief. I could be completely wrong, but I won't be using email follow-up sequences again. Plus the fact probably 50 to 60% of them bounced as well. So that was a waste of time. So how to get the other way is remote contacts. This is what I talk about, people you're not associated with. So I've had one person, my photographer, who is not directly related to me on any social profile. He is someone I could go to and say to them, can you leave me a review? Because I've met him, I trust him, we've got business together. So I would go to my photographer and ask him. Think of people like that who you could go to. Someone preferably doesn't live local. I've said before, my photographer's a couple of hours away. Someone who isn't too close to you, not family members, friends, yes, but distant friends. So that's where I'd go. The second one is Facebook ads. These 2 methods I'd call a slight manipulation, aren't they? Close contact, Facebook ads, because with my Facebook ad, lots of people have commented on it, saying, oh, this is a great product, bought one, ordered, or Dave, buy this, or Sharon, buy this. So I know there's a huge number of people that have commented on my Facebook ad that have probably gone on to purchase those. So if I wanted to, I could message those guys and say, oh, did you actually buy my product? If they said yes, great. What was your experience? If they're really happy, can you do me a huge favour? And that's so far away from Amazon that you could do it through Facebook. You can probably be absolutely fine doing that, and you can vet people before asking them, because you say to them, did you buy the product? Yes or no? Depending on their response, was it a great product? If they're not happy, say, okay, we'll do our best to improve it next time. If they say yes, fantastic, can you leave us a positive review? Now, you can't do that in an email sequence because that's against Amazon terms, and technically it's against Amazon's terms anyway. But if you do it on Facebook, there's a very, very small chance they're actually going to find out. So that's why I'd recommend running Facebook ads as well, because it gives you that option to get additional reviews as and when you need to. And the other thing is asking customers that have left you seller feedback to post a product review as well, because you may have seen before when Amazon themselves email you asking you for a feedback, the link goes to the seller feedback and not to the product feedback. So what I'm going to show you now is my product insert template. Now this is the one I've used on my second product. My first product wasn't quite as good as this one, so this is, we might think of this as version 2 of my product insert. So I kick off by showing the logo, so make sure you've got a good logo, that always helps. And then I start off, thank you from company name, so whatever your company name is there. We're a small team, husband and wife, from location country. So for example, we're a small team from Edinburgh, Scotland. You know, because it allows people, it makes it personable, and it allows people to relate to you. You know, if they see you as a husband and wife team, or however you want to describe yourself, it sounds so much better than we're a massive corporation selling thousands of products. It seems like you actually care. So just follow on. We love subject matter, so whatever that's to do with. So if it was a yoga mat, we love yoga, and we value every single customer who buys our product. So you're showing a direct connection to them, to their interest. We hope you're 100% happy with the product. If we can help with anything at all, please contact us anytime. I've bolded a bit there just so, you know, it encourages them to get in contact. And then again here, just appealing, you know, showing that you're small and you need help almost. Not pleading, but just showing that you are a small seller. So as a new independent seller on Amazon, product reviews help us out massively. We would love to hear from you. Then just showing them very, very simple instructions on how to do it. So please log into your Amazon account, go to your orders, your account, find your order and click write a review, and you're also showing them a picture there or a screenshot of the review button so they can directly relate that as soon as they log in. Then underneath, picked a bit of handwriting font in Photoshop just to, again, make it personable. Thank you, Darren and Jen. So put your name in, make it, you know, so people can relate to you. Then underneath, I've got my installation instructions for the product, of course blurred out, so you can't guess what my product is. And then the seller feedback template, this is what I use if someone leaves me a 5-star seller feedback, and I want them to leave it on the product page instead. So I put Dear XXX, I know it's a strange name, but thank you so much for leaving a 5-star review on our seller feedback. I'm so pleased that you're happy with the product. I was wondering if I could ask a small favour. Would you mind sparing 2 minutes to leave a review on the product page itself? As a new independent seller on Amazon, product reviews help us out massively and also help other customers. I've included a link below to make it as easy as possible. And there you go, I've got a link and that goes directly to the product review page. And there is a 5-star addition on the end. Now, I don't know if it's against terms of service. It may be, but I'm only sending this email out, I mean, rarely. So it's your call. If you don't want to take the risk, take off the 5-star. I've got it on there because what happens if you go there without the 5-star, no stars are selected by default, and I could quite easily see it being the case someone posts a review accidentally, not realising they had to click the star rating first. So that's the seller feedback template, and I've used that with success. And it did, you know, I've had a couple of people who got that email and then when they left me a product review. So do something similar to that. Really helps if you get feedback on your seller page to get them to post it on the product page. So finally, how to get reviews removed. Now, product reviews can be removed for a number of reasons. Usually it's if they've breached a guideline. Now there are so many guidelines from Amazon. I'd recommend going to the Amazon website and reading all of the guidelines. Usually it comes down to if it contains profanity, if it's promoting another product, or if there is actually a mention to the wrong thing. So if you're on the seller reviews and they have posted a product review, or if you're on the product reviews and they post a seller review, that's when you can normally get them removed. So if you want to get a product review removed, you need to have get the reason ready. So has it breached a guideline, or if for example someone has left fulfillment feedback on your product page. So you've sold your product, Amazon have got they've cocked up the shipping, and then someone's come on, left you a 1-star and said delivery was late. Then you can get that removed because it's a fulfillment issue, not a product issue. Now the review itself has to be wholly related to fulfillment for that to apply. So they could say product shipment was delayed, but the product was rubbish, in which case you can't get it removed. But if it's purely and 100% about product fulfillment, then you can, you know, ask Amazon to review it because it's not to do with the product itself. And that's how you do it. You go to the product page, you find the review, you click the report abuse button, and then you complete the form. If someone has left a product review on your seller feedback, now usually if it's a positive review, I won't ask them to remove it. I'll just use my previous template that I showed you to get them to leave another review, because I'd rather have great feedback, whether it's product or seller related. I'd rather have both. But if someone left me negative review on my seller feedback to do with the product, then I would follow the sequence and just go in, log into Seller Central. You actually have to be logged in this time. Go all the way through that sequence there, click the request removal, and that's how you'd get it removed. So those are the most common reviews that you can get removed. The ones that have breached guidelines, and then ones where they've posted it on the wrong page. So those are the ones. Anything else you're probably unlikely to get removed because you won't have a good enough reason. It's very difficult to get reviews removed even when these rules apply. You might have to submit it 2 or 3 times to Amazon before they actually action it. And the other way, this is probably the best way, and that is to contact the reviewer themselves. So if as soon as someone leaves me a review, or a negative review, I make sure I contact them as soon as possible. I don't wait days. I want it same day, hopefully usually within an hour or 2. As soon as I see it, I will contact that customer. Now, it's not always immediately obvious which customer has left a review because they can have a different profile name to their ordering name. So in total I've had 3 negative reviews, a 1-star, a 2-star, and a 3-star. And 2 of them I could locate, and 1 of them I couldn't. Now I used to use FeedbackWiz for this because FeedbackWiz has review matching, but Amazon changed their API when I was using FeedbackWiz. Now it can only be estimated. They can't guarantee that it is the correct buyer has left that review. So what I'm using instead is a Chrome extension called AMZ Review to order matching. Now when I got this, the extension was free. So I'll come on here today to tell you this extension was free. And when I found it again, it was $12.99. Now, I'm not selling an affiliate link. I'm not saying you need this. But for me, I'll show you how it works. When you're on the product page, so let's go back to the yoga mat. Oh, well, let's just click on any one of these, actually. Let's not click on a sponsored. I don't want to cost someone money. And then you go on to reviews. What will happen is it will scan the reviews, and it generates this little find order button. Now, if this is your product and you're logged into your account, what it will do, it would scan all of your orders. It would use the person's name and try and estimate, and it would give you a percentage chance of who they think are the top 5 most likely reviewers. And so far, this plugin has been very good. Sometimes there's going to be a name that just means nothing. It's going to be impossible. But this is one way of matching up reviews. So yeah, that's how I get reviews removed. It's either because they breach guidelines, they posted them in the wrong place. I contact the reviewer, and I'm going to show you the template I use when I contact a reviewer. So this is it. So you have to be polite, you have to take emotion out of it. As much as you hate the person, you have to be nice to them. So dear XXX, thank you for taking the time to review our product. We are sorry to hear you are not completely happy with the product. As a new small independent seller on Amazon, reviews are so important to us as they help us improve our product, and your feedback is invaluable. So again, it's trying to relate to them, trying to show them you care about your opinion, trying to show them that you're small and you need their help again almost. Customer satisfaction is 100% our priority. I have issued a full refund as a gesture of goodwill and an apology that you're not completely happy with the product. There is no need to return the product. And the reason I put that is I don't want them to return the product for 2 reasons. Firstly, if they get to keep the product for free, they might come back and change reviews, which has worked really well. One of my customers did. They come back and said, great customer service, and they increased their 2-star to a 3-star, which doesn't sound much, but it all helps. So anyone that leaves a negative review, I will refund. Now that probably doesn't sound good business, but for me, it's worthwhile doing. So I refund everyone that isn't happy, and also it keeps your return rate down, because if I'm not returning the product, then your return rate stays down as well. Please let me know if you have any questions or if there's anything else I can do to help. Kind regards, Darren. And I've only had to use that email template 3 times. It worked. One of the 3 times it worked. The second time the lady ignored me, and the 3rd time we couldn't actually relate the feedback to the buyer, who I believe was the person that was possibly a competitor. So that's it for the video. That's my take on reviews. If you haven't already liked the video, subscribe to the channel, and if you guys have got any questions or want help with anything, just drop me an email, darrenlynchfba@gmail.com. And next week I've got I've got a video coming on product differentiation. I've done 2 reviews recently. I'm running out of words today. I've done 2 videos lately on how to find products on Amazon. Now I'm going to show you, once you've found that product, how to differentiate and actually create a product that will sell and will succeed on FBA.